Welcome on Professional Movie Reviews. I shouldn't yell. I live in an apartment building now. I'm going to keep yelling because that's what I do. Welcome on Professional Movie Reviews.
New wall.
Welcome to our new wall. New haircut. Mark, Billy. If you never watched Unprofessional Movie Review before, this is where we unprofessionally review movies. Okay, the way this works is you do all the internet stuff like and subscribe if you actually like this. If you haven't subscribed and you watch more than one video, it would make sense to subscribe, you stupid retard.
We're also on the dictionary, face, and the twatter.
The Twitter, twat, yeah.
MySpace.
Official UMR, friend me on Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Taco Face. What's up? Okay, anyways, moving on. The way this works is we're going to tell you the positive, or a quick little synopsis about Captain America's Civil War. And then we're going to tell you our positives, our negatives. We're going to be as non-spoilery as possible. And then we're going to give you, there goes the beer, a rating between 0 and 10 that's completely tailored and custom for this exact moment.
Can you give the summary? Because
I would love to give you the summary.
You know a lot more about it than
Okay, that's probably a bad idea. Okay, that's probably a better reason. I don't want to ramble as much as I usually do. So, Captain America Civil War is the third Captain America in the franchise. So this isn't an Avengers movie. We'll get to that. It is, but we'll get to that. This is the end of the trilogy for the Captain America movies. The first one was First Avengers. Second one was Winter Soldier. Here's Civil War. Civil War is very loosely, but in spirit, still based off a comic book called Marvel Civil War, which is a giant crossover when we were in high school. Fucking figure out the time. I'm not sure right now. That was about conflicting ideologies and taking credit for collateral damage. And that's exactly what this was about. The same events didn't go down, but this is, in theory, what the movie was about. So we got Captain America. The quick little synopsis is Captain America... Feels guilty about the stuff that the Avengers have been doing. Jakovia, New York, you name it. So Thunderbolt Ross, you remember him from Incredible Hulk, shows up and he's like, you guys have to be like brought in by the UN. And then Bucky comes in and does something crazy. Everyone wants to try to kill Bucky. Captain America doesn't want everyone to kill Bucky, so it splits them up.
Bucky is blamed for something crazy.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. So, there's kind of the synopsis. So, you got Iron Man and his team with, watch this, I'll do it, War Machine, Vision,
Black Panther.
I almost said the other one. I guess we could. In Black Widow. And then you got Captain America, Hawkeye, Scarlet Witch, Ant-Man, Falcon, and... yeah. On that side.
You missed Spiderman on Iron Man's team.
I know, it was supposed to be a
in
spoiler. Yeah, right. Spider-Man's on Iron Man's team. Okay, so there's a synopsis. They're fighting each other. Let's get on to the positives, because we've been talking for 3 minutes. Okay. I usually like to break down the performances. I'm going to say across the board, unless we bring them up on our negatives, the performances were good. They were good enough. I want to bring up the characters. It's not the same as performances. Because a person could be bad with a shitty character.
It's not the same as the writing.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's kind of a combination of all of them. The way they move their characters, these characters drive this story in a very intimate and great way. Is the characters' flaws and problems, not just one or two characters, multiple characters drive this plot. And it was really refreshing to see these characters. We've seen now, 13 Marvel movies. Wow, that's crazy. We haven't seen all these characters in the lights that we have. We haven't really seen them in downtime. We haven't really seen them go through this kind of situations. And I feel like they nailed them. I felt like even the ones that have small parts, have big parts. They all get their kind of win. Every character does. All the main characters. And yeah, and I'm going to say that's my biggest positive is their use. We have to throw in Black Panther and Spiderman into this, and I got plenty of time for all of them. And this is a Captain America movie, and there was 30 fucking superheroes, and all of them had equal time, which is
And
like,
if they didn't have pivotal lines, they at least had good laugh lines.
or big action moments.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Scott Lang.
Scott Lang has a great action moment.
Yeah,
We're not gonna. I'm refusing to talk about that. But that's spoiler territory. But yeah, they all kind of have their. Yeah, so it wasn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is, with all these superheroes, it wasn't cluttered, and that's my biggest positive.
Yeah,
Because that was the hardest thing to pull off.
yeah. My biggest positive would probably be there's a big plot twist. Without spoiling anything.
Good one too.
It's like the opposite of what happened in Batman v Superman, which is awesome.
They found out that Tony Stark and Captain America found out that their moms were not named the same, and they freaked
They
out.
found out that Tony and Steve were the same person.
Oh, that's it.
That's what it is. No, but
Watch your say
for
that
those of
name.
you that have seen it, you'll know what I mean. But there's a really good plot twist. The introductions of the characters. I'll get into a little bit more of my negatives. There is a lot of exposition, but at most of the points, it's very necessary.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on in this movie.
And like you already said, the characters were really cool. I liked the performances of pretty much all the cast. I can't pick out a specific performance I didn't like.
Yeah, I can't at all.
No. The boy that they cast for Peter Parker is great.
Tom Holland is standout.
Yeah.
Standout. Tom Holland did really, really good. And the first time we saw him, I heard that he's really great. But first second, I was like, "Oh, fuck this." Second, I'm like, "Okay, I get it."
Yeah.
And then, can we talk about Spider-Man for a second?
Yeah.
This Spider-Man is the Spider-Man I've wanted, and I know that sounds really cheesy, but I'll tell you specifically what I mean. Is they finally brought in a little bit with Andrew Garfield when he's like, "Oh, you find my weakness, it's little small knives," like that one little rant.
Yeah.
This is exactly how he fights, is exactly the way he does in the comics, with, like, always quips. Every time he attacks, he's like, "You're under arrest!" Bam! Like, hilarious. And just spot on Spider-Man. I know we only saw this Tom Holland for 20 minutes, and I can't judge Tom Holland Spider-Man off it. I refuse to judge him as a whole, but holy shit am I excited for that Spider-Man movie. I'm super pumped because they got his fighting right. Sorry, I had to steal that from you.
No, that's completely all right.
Okay. You got something else to talk about? Because I got another character to talk about.
Is it Black Panther? Yeah. T'Chaka.
T'Challa. Well, T'Chaka's a dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was their
It's
surname.
King T'Chaka. No, and then
Gotcha. T'Challa then.
T'Challa. I can't even say. So, this Black Panther, if you read the comics, is right out of the damn page. Like, every line he said has that, like, stick up his ass, but he pulls it off sense. And
I've only read the Ultimates.
Okay, yeah, it's a little off. Ultimate Universe is a little off. Yeah, no, it's a little off. But he's always got that, like, I've thought about what I'm about to say every time I say it. Like, and honestly, every one of his lines, it's like a speech written for him, and that's how Black Panther always was, because he's a fucking prince. So that's how he acts. And it was, his action is great. His action's great. The way he fights is different than the way everyone else, exactly how I pictured he'd fight too. But his dialogue, Chadwick Boseman is a force. And I know a lot of he's not a huge name, but I really liked him in that the 42, the baseball movie, and I really loved him as James Brown in Get On Up. And I can't wait to see more Chadwick Boseman. He's really good as Black Panther, and we're like 5 fucking years away from his movie, but I'm pumped for it.
Bellamy also stood out for me in this one. Bellamy? Is that his name? Vision?
Oh, Paul Bettany.
Bettany.
Thank you.
No, he was...
We're tired.
He was great. I liked his speeches that he had.
Yeah.
And
we got a lot more Vision.
Yeah.
And we got to learn more about Vision.
There's a romantic subplot between him and Scarlet Witch that I didn't entirely get.
Okay. It's in the comics?
Yeah, but the way they did in the show...
It was a little shaky.
Because you can't just introduce a somewhat sentient robot
and then
just be like,
without
oh, and by the way, he's falling in love. Because
Yeah.
You haven't given him enough sentience to make that necessary.
Or enough character. And that's one thing I really liked about this movie is we do get to see more Vision.
Yeah.
I want a Vision standalone, and I don't know why it's not even in the books. Because this character is fascinating. And he was in Ultron, and one of my biggest problems with Ultron is we get to just like, look how amazing this character is, bye.
Yeah.
And we really need to see more.
No,
got
the
more.
second they introduced
But
Vision
now I want
Ultron, I was like, oh, he's so cool.
And then we get a fight scene with him, and then he has that little speech at the end, and he's kind of gone. And we got more here, but you're right, it was more foreplay for me. I still haven't visioned my load out yet, my Vision load.
Yeah. That pretty much covers it for me.
Overall writing, really meticulous. I'm going to just say, as usual, Chris Evans is born to play Cap. I think he was great. I think Sebastian Stan, as much as I didn't like him in his earlier roles, I think he owns this Bucky role, and he was great in it.
I liked seeing Daniel Brühl.
Oh yeah, Daniel Brühl.
I've
I'm gonna
him since Die Educators.
Yeah.
It's a German movie.
Yeah. Okay.
And Goodbye Lenin. Oh.
I've only seen Inglourious Basterds.
Bastards.
But yeah, I think we'll get to Daniel Brühl, at least I will. And it's less on him. My other positive, and I'll get to fighting again, but the action choreography in general was great. Like the way they fought, how all the characters fought. Yeah, the cinematography. I'm gonna bring that up again, but like when it comes to actual cinematography.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as far as fight scenes go.
Oh yeah, okay.
The way they would layer one fight scene over another, and then the camera would roll.
Yeah, that was actually really cool.
I thought that was really well placed.
I'll say it now, just because we're talking about it. The only little negative I have for the fighting is it's still like shot. And the problem with that is I don't ever get established of the full fight.
Right.
So especially when two characters, like it's kind of dark, and two characters that kind of look the same, Captain America and Winter Soldier, and they're not exactly doing the exact same thing at that moment, but they're fighting bad guys, and I couldn't tell which one I'm watching, and it's like, punch, kick, punch. I'm like, who's getting punched? Who's getting kicked? I don't know.
Also, this isn't a positive or negative, just a side note. I noticed a lot when Iron Man would punch somebody, they used very comic booky punch sounds. Like you got like Iron Man punching Winter Soldier in the face, and you just hear, yeah, just like it's metal.
Which is funny because when Captain America punches people, it's the sound of a truck hitting a wall.
Yeah.
Dong! Which again, yeah, something back to the fights. That was my only little negative of the fights, but the fight choreography and cinematography is still really great. And just the cinematography overall, the whole movie, there's still those really awesome. The directors, the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers know their way around this universe, and I'm really glad they're doing the Infinity Wars because they got it, man. They got this world. All right, let's move on to negatives. We have some.
Yeah, I'm going to start off by saying I didn't like the introduction of the Spider-Man backstory. The way that
the lack of
the images that they gave us, the version of Peter Parker that they set up for us, to me felt chintzy and inaccurate. Because, I mean, I get that they would have had to move from the village after Uncle Ben died. I get that. But Aunt May, even though the age proportions are there, I'm not used to seeing young Aunt May, and that was weird.
Young, hot Aunt May?
Yeah, Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei is still a world-class fucking beauty. And they play that up, which was weird. They play that up.
It's weird.
Because Old May's always been the old religious hack for me. Like, a great character, but she's always been like the old lady.
It's like, and they didn't explain why they live in such a nice apartment too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what they did with the TMNT movie.
Oh,
where everything's more clean than it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And everything is more unexplainedly middle class than it's supposed to be. You know what I mean?
No, that's really fair. I mean, they're allowed to make those choices with
stuff.
Spider-Man, but they could have done something to explain it. I mean, you're allowed to change your character all you want, but I want
to seeing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, as himself in a more disadvantaged light than what we did see.
Yeah, and if you want to change it, explain. Oh, well, she just got her big promotion.
Right.
I just did this. Yeah. All right. Other negatives. Had something. Marvel villains are always Marvel villains, except for a couple. They always kind of fall flat. This one I'm gonna say is, and it's not Daniel Bruhl's fault. He's one of 1,000 characters and 2 way bigger important characters than this villain got introduced, and they had to do that right, and they did. They got Black Panther and Spider-Man right, and he kind of got kicked to the sidelines, and they kind of rushed in on who he was. Yeah. And I'm not going to say it's acting fault. I'm really not. I'm going to just say he's going to be a really forgettable villain. He's just going to be. He was kind of there for glue to make all the other amazing shit happen. And that didn't have to be that way. You could have still given us a villain.
Yeah. I think speaking of villains and that kind of thing, and Black Panther and Spider-Man being villains, in a sense.
Yeah. If Captain America's the protagonist, they were technically antagonists.
I'm pretty sure this isn't. I haven't read the comics all the way through. I've read the wiki and I've skimmed them, but I'm pretty sure people in the comics didn't just blindly say, I side with Iron Man, I side with Cap. It was more about the side of the argument they were on, right?
Some of them did. Some of them blindly followed.
Because there was a lot of that in the movie where they're just like, Cap needs us. We're on his side.
Yeah, there was one big character. Thank you for bringing up Hawkeye. As good as Hawkeye is, and as much as I do like Jeremy Renner, yeah, he couldn't have been in this movie. He could have not been in this movie, and the movie would have been exactly the same. Like, he had, take out of the action. The action was great. He's always good in the action. He's awesome in the action. He's part of a really great Ant-Man shot. But at the same time, he was just, like, not in half it and then just shows up like, let's go do stuff.
Yeah.
Fight time!
Yeah.
Out! It's kind of shitty. Gave him one other scene where we care. Mm-hmm. But, choices. We had 1,000 characters that they shoved in, and they got it for the most part right, so they had to make choices to cut out one a little.
And we're going over time a little bit, so I'm just going to say I didn't like the after credit scene and leave it at that.
The after credit scenes were pretty
didn't like either of them.
Useful. Not at all. They didn't really need. They could have both been in the movie. And
one of them was basically just them saying, Spider-Man's going to come back.
And we knew that already.
No.
It's called Spider-Man Homecoming. They're looking for a villain. We know. And Tony Stark's in it. What's the other one? Was it was like a Black Panther tease, but we just got his origin. Like, they shoved Black Panther's entire origin in here, which is great, because we don't get a Black Panther origin movie now. We're going to get a full-blown Black Panther movie.
I didn't fully understand the final shot of the movie, if you know what I'm saying. I could have sworn they were teasing that the Hulk was in Wakanda.
Oh, what? Really?
I thought that's what they were going for. But then I didn't
get that at all. I think they were just showing
a statue of a cat instead.
A panther, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got other negatives. Do you?
I can't. It's like 1 in the morning right now.
Yeah, no, we're both really tired. I worked a 12-hour day and then watched a 2.5-hour movie. But I will state, this movie is really, really fucking good. And I'm going to ask you right now, blindside you, were you putting it in Captain America movies? Were you putting it in Marvel movies? I'm not going to quote you on this, but as of right now, how do you feel?
I would rank it higher than Captain America 2.
Okay.
I would rank it... I'd say Deadpool, but that's not a tight fit.
No, it's not a Marvel movie.
A tight fit would be like Captain America 2 and Avengers 2. That'd be a tight fit for me. So
they're right up there with there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. My favorite Marvel movie since it came out was Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm not 100% sure because it does jump in between Guardians and Winter Soldier is one of my favorite. In Avengers, the first Avengers was my favorite movie experience I've ever had, but that does not make it my favorite movie.
Right.
It was my favorite theater experience. So it's up there, but right now, this is being clashed with Winter Soldier and Guardians for my top 3 spots. Is because, at least from what I just saw, this was a hard thing, and for the most part, they fucking pulled it off hardcore with those tiny little negatives. Oh, by the way, I didn't like that Vision was wearing clothes.
Oh, that was weird.
That was weird. But those are tiny little negatives. This movie blew it out of the water, and this was a really hard thing for the Russo brothers to pull off. And that's why it's like, ooh, wow.
I'm going to give this movie 7 out of 10 new powers, because we got to see some new powers in this movie we didn't see before. That's what my quantity is, and I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I feel like a 7 out of 10 is a fair rating, and I'm a tough critic, so a 7 out of 10 is good.
I'm not as tough. 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 superheroes. I loved this.
That's not your drawing.
Oh. 8.5 out of 10 superheroes. This was just a smiley face because it's a half. That's my really bad pictures of girls. Why 8.5? Because this is a really, 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 really fun time, and I'm gonna watch it multiple times.
Everything that Batman vs Superman got wrong, this movie got right.
Oh yeah, and even as far as, and I know you really liked Age of Ultron, I really liked it too, but its rewatchability for me hasn't been as hardcore.
I agree.
And I've watched it, Age of Ultron. It's really, I loved it when I watched the review, and I tried to watch it a couple times, and it just doesn't
the same
grab me.
The first one did.
Yeah, and I already kind of said the first one isn't the best, but it's great, like theater time. And I think I'm not going to have that problem with this one. I think there's still a lot for me to learn. I think the character
and the callbacks,
like I think there's a lot of fun stuff going on in this, and I don't think it's going to lose its rewatchability. And that's why I gave it that 8.5. And also, all my negatives were nitpicky, and I had a lot of fucking time. And I ate a large popcorn, and I never do that shit.
I remember the stuff I liked about this movie more than I remember the stuff I didn't like. So I think that's a big thing.
There we go. Okay. Sorry for the long review. You guys have a great time. Let's throw the Age of Ultron review in there. What do you want to throw in there?
Our Deadpool review.
Yeah! 2 comic book movies. Now, if we're going to talk comic book movies fully, it's somewhere between Dark Knight and Deadpool for me.
Our Deadpool review doesn't exist.
Oh! We both gave it
That was a joke.
Yeah, we both gave it 9.5.
Yeah,
it didn't work out. All right, bye. Bye.